There's no shortage of subcompact SUVs on the market, but if you're going to come to market with a new vehicle or an upgraded vehicle, you have to bring design, style, and technology, and the Nissan Kicks has made some changes for 2021. We're going to take it for a drive, and you're going to join us. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lauren Fix. This is the 2021 Nissan Kicks. Now there are some changes for this year, and the most obvious is the looks. There are some improvements there both inside and outside, and they've made some other changes along the way, and we're going to show you all those changes, and we're also going to cover this vehicle in 10 different categories. We're going to review performance, handling, we'll talk about safety, then we'll go inside, talk about visibility and seating comfort and what's important to you in child safety seats, and then we'll go to the inside. We'll talk about visibility and seating, technology and some of the features that have been upgraded on this vehicle. Then we'll go to the outside and talk about design and some of the changes. We'll talk about quality and warranty. We'll go to the back, talk about cargo, its value compared to its competitors, which are also listed in the description down below. And in the end, we will give you a Car Coach Reports total so you can compare this vehicle to its competitors, so when you walk into the dealership, you know what you're going to get. Because when you walk in, they're going to try and sell you on the vehicle. That's their job. We're going to give you information so that you are armed with car smarts. Don't forget to subscribe and click that little bell as we go through each category and help give you car smarts. Let's take a look under the hood. Under the hood of all Nissan Kicks in the US is a 1.6-liter engine. It's backed by a CVT and has 122 horsepower. All of the Kicks are front-wheel drive. There is no all-wheel drive option. We'll talk about that a little bit in handling, but note that different engines are available in different countries. But this is a really popular engine on a global basis. Performance of the new Nissan Kicks with the 1.6-liter engine is lackluster when it comes to acceleration. It's kind of disappointing when you put your foot in it. You expect to get some get up and go. Now this is a fuel efficient engine that gets 31 miles per gallon in the city, 36 on the highway, about 35 or so combined. And once it gets going, it is perfectly fine for putting your foot in it. It's a little loud, but it does get to the speed you need. Now, why is this important to you? A lot of people say it's not about performance. It is when you're getting on an on-ramp, when you need to pass someone or make an evasive escape maneuver from being a part of an accident. This is what I keep telling people. It's important to test drive these vehicles to see if it meets your needs. And 0 to 60, 10.7 seconds. I fair warned you this is lackluster. Here we go. It's trying. And here we go, and we are at 60. Wow, that took a long time and disappointing, actually. I was hoping that it would have a little bit more power. Now remember, this is about fuel efficiency. This is about compact crossover, getting you to the places you need to be, and that it does do. I kind of wish this vehicle had a manual transmission option, because then you could get the power where you want it and get that torque curve just right. But as it stands with this CVT transmission, and you can feel that front wheel drive torque steer a little bit, it earns a 7 for performance. When you're looking at handling for this vehicle, it's kind of disappointing because it does ride really nicely. On the smooth roads, no problem. This vehicle handles just fine and you have a nice quiet ride. But when you get up on the highway and you have those rough roads at times, the first thing you're going to find out is that this vehicle gets kind of loud inside, and disappointingly so. When it comes to brakes, there's no one behind me. Here we go. The brakes are pretty good. Looking at doing a nice little 3-point turn here. Let's see how it does on turning radius, because this is important. The around view camera really helps. We'll talk about that in visibility, of course, in technology as well. The vehicle goes where you point it, but I wish it had a tighter steering that was more specific. Maybe a little sportier, something that was more specific. But overall, when you're comparing to other vehicles in this category, the first thing you're going to note is this vehicle's not that bad. It handles pretty nicely, except on the rough roads. And that is something that you will have to drive on your daily route to decide what works for you and what doesn't. Overall, this vehicle has a lot to offer. Handling could be improved as well as performance, but handling in itself, it earns a 6. Standard on all Kicks is the Nissan Safety Shield 360, which includes automatic emergency braking with pedestrian detection, tire pressure monitoring, forward collision warning, rear automatic braking, blind spot warning, rear cross traffic alert, and lane departure warning, and more. This is all standard, and the adjustments can be made on the left side of the steering wheel. You can see them here in the center, and what you get is the ability to go down to each setting and set it how you would like, and that includes the maintenance buttons. They're all right here. The driver assistances are listed right here, from blind spot detection, and you can adjust each of the settings how you would like. Because all of this safety is standard on the Nissan Kicks, it earns a 9. When it comes to visibility, people that buy SUVs want that higher seating position, but because this is a subcompact crossover, it has a lower seating position, but you get that great visibility. Huge piece of front glass, and that's part of the new redesign for Kicks. The sill level is at a reasonable height, and I always say that because it means visibility out the sides. You can see where things are, and it's really well designed from that standpoint. Now, looking out the back, you do have some limitations, and you can see you have the headrest, but you do have an around view camera, and that is really important. Now, it is optional, so I do recommend that if you are looking at purchasing this vehicle, this would be a major plus. As soon as you put it into reverse, you get the split screen, plus you get different settings to see what's next to you, so you don't damage the beautiful wheels in this car, and you still get to see where you're going and what's going on around you. I think they've done a really great job for visibility, and it earns a 9. When it comes to seating, no matter what anyone says, this is the most important seat in the house because you as the driver need to be comfortable. So one thing you need is adjustable height seat belts. This does have that, so that's a major plus. So they get some brownie points there, but where they really lack is these seats are very uncomfortable. They're a hard seating surface. They are manual. Everything is manual. Whether you adjust the seat forward and back, up or down, it does have a height adjustment. So before you make that final decision on which vehicle, you need to take everything for a test drive. Make sure the seat can be adjusted to your personal needs. We're all built differently, and that's really important. Note that the passenger seat is no different in this case, but they're both pretty much uncomfortable in my opinion based on other vehicles at this price point. You should also look at the list of competitors in the description down below, as well as links to those reviews, such as the Buick Encore. You'll find that these are pretty comfortable seats at the same price point, and it's really, really important. Let's take a look at the second row, and then we'll give it a rating. Going into the second row, these seats are really hard. They're flat, and they're not very comfortable. They're too upright. They almost feel like you're up higher so you can see, but also at the same time, they're not that comfortable. There is one pocket in front of the passenger seat, and there are 2 charging ports. That's it. There is no vents back here or anything. There is 2 speakers down low, and you should also note that these seats do not have a center fold down for a cup holder, but it is important. Also note there are 3 spots for child safety seats. You will not be able to get 3 rearward facing seats, but you should be able to get 2 seats tightly. I think you should try it before you make a final decision on child safety seats. But overall, I'm disappointed in the seating for a car that looks this cool and so upgraded. And Nissan did such a wonderful job in so many other areas, but this is their lowest rated area, and for seating, it earns a 4. New for 2021 is the 7-inch standard center screen, and the upgraded 8-inch is on our test vehicle. Of course, it depends on the trim level. There are 3 trim levels. You do have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as well as a Wi-Fi hotspot, which is what this type of customer does prefer. One thing I did notice is there is some glare on our test vehicle, and you should take one for a test drive and make that final decision for yourself. It's based on your perspective on that. In other words, if you're taller or shorter, you may have a different perspective. The buttons do move quickly. They also have a click to them, which makes it real easy. Everything is pretty easy, and it's customizable, and you can set the colors to the audio system that you want, and you can set different interior colors for the lighting for this Bose audio system to make it your own. The technology is pretty basic, but it's what you need for a vehicle in this subcompact category, and besides the tachometer, the information that you may need, which is right here at your fingertips, including your safety adjustments. Everything is real easy to use, and when it comes to technology, this vehicle earns a 9. When you're looking at the features on this vehicle, you've got some pretty easy to use, intuitive technology. The left side has all of your adjustments and your audio, and then going to the right side, you have your cruise control. Pretty simple. The stalks are as expected. I do like that stitching in the background. It's a little blurred, but you can see it. And the reason it is we're going to get up close and show you that in a minute. And then you've got your wiper blades both front and rear. Your center gauges are pretty easy to use, and they're also extremely intuitive. Going to the left side, you'll see pretty simple gauges, that really cool orange stitching, and some additional gauges that are not being used other than the heated steering wheel, but these are options that you can add. Going over to the center, you've got your regular vents, that 8-inch center stack screen, which is 7-inch standard, and your basic controls, your climate control. There's also 4 different charging ports, USB and USB-C, as well as your regular outlet in case you're running a radar detector. Besides the controls and your standard Prindle, park, reverse, neutral, drive, low, you've got 2 cup holders. Pretty basic, pretty easy to use. I do like the stitching and the new interior materials that make this Kicks a lot more updated and modern. Nice new interior details. Overall, for features, there are 3 trim levels, lots of cool new exterior colors, and this vehicle has been updated. This interior update was needed for Kicks, and for features, this vehicle earns a 7. When you're looking at the design updates for the Nissan Kicks, first you're going to notice this new grille. It now looks like the rest of the family, whether you're looking at the new Rogue, the new Murano. They've done a nice job making this part of the family. Also note LED headlights and LED taillights are standard, and this new look can be created in the design studio for Kicks. When you go to the website, you can pick the different colors. They come two-tone, and they have some really bright new colors also, which allows you to make this vehicle your own. And they've done a really nice job making this a very functional vehicle with lots of ventilation to keep this 1.6-liter engine running pretty cool. One of the updates for 2021 are these really cool black 17-inch wheels. Now, they're not going to put performance tires on this, but they might offer a Nismo in the future, which would mean more money, but it would also make a better handling vehicle and probably bigger wheels. But overall, this looks great. It's nicely styled, and it's very youthful. Some of the design styling on the outside includes this black rooftop and the black roof rail, so you can put a bike rack on top or whatever it is you're looking to do. You'll note that this vehicle is really nicely balanced with bringing that bright color in with these matte colors and then a shiny color on top. And all this makes a very modern look, which was needed because the Kicks came out, it was great, but this is such a popular vehicle. They need to get that youth in these vehicles, or those who are on a budget, and this subcompact crossover category has become really popular. One thing to note on the interior, because there are some new design elements, one thing that I think is pretty awesome is the Bose audio system that is built into the speakers, because this vehicle has both sound and good looks. Coming around to the back, you'll see these LED taillights, your SR rating, and then of course going up top, you've got that wiper blade that a lot of manufacturers are tucking up underneath this wing. We might see that in future Kicks, but right now it's right here, and it does affect the airflow, but it also means this wiper blade can get worn from ice scrapers and just normal wear and tear. I like to see it tucked up underneath, but as far as the Kicks logo and the colors and the designs of this vehicle, it earns a 9. When you're looking at quality of a vehicle in this price point, which is slightly under $20,000, of course our test vehicle is a little bit more expensive because they do send them to us loaded, you're still looking at a 3-year 36,000 mile basic warranty, as well as a 5-year 60,000 mile on the powertrain. Also note that you get roadside assistance for 3 years or 36,000 miles, and that really helps add to the value proposition of this vehicle. But the quality of build is really impressive. These vehicles are built on a global basis, so what you're seeing here is the same vehicle that's sold in China and India and all over Europe. Also keep in mind they have different drive lines and they're also available as a manual. But when you're looking at this vehicle from top to bottom, when it comes to quality, it earns a 9. When you come around to the back and you're looking at cargo, you're at 25.3 cubic feet of storage. The seats do fold flat, but there's still a ledge. So you're not getting full flat storage, and that's important to note. Also, underneath this Kicks cover, you will find a spare tire, which I do appreciate because a lot of the vehicles in this category don't offer spares. The value of this vehicle is really what the Kicks is all about, starting at about $19,500, then going all the way up to $21,600 in that area. Our test vehicle is an SR, so it's fully loaded and it has some options and came in around $26,000. Now, it's important to note that this category is very busy and there's a lot of competition. So it's not just the exterior look, it's the technology, the performance, and the fuel economy, and this vehicle does perform in many areas. And when you're looking at value, this vehicle earns a 7. Now there are some pros and cons to this Kicks. One of the pros is I love the look of the exterior and the fact that you can personalize it and make it your own, and they've really thought about who this customer is in this price point. I was disappointed in its performance and how loud it was at the higher speeds and also over some of the rough roads, but what are you going to get at the $21,000 range? You're not going to get a vehicle that's going to be insulated like something that's much more expensive. So you have to kind of keep this in mind. What are you getting for your money? The largest negative for me is the seating. I'm really disappointed that they're not just manual seats, although competitors do have power seats in this price point, but the fact they're completely uncomfortable, both the front seats and the back seat, although you can put 3 child safety seats in, which might be a bit tight, so you want to check that out for yourself. They really need to upgrade the seating surfaces to match the rest of the upgrades in this vehicle, which they've done a really nice job in giving you a ton of safety. That is standard, and that's really impressive because this vehicle is about safety. When you add up all 10 categories and you compare it to the competitors, which again I keep saying is listed in the description down below with links to all the reviews because there's a lot of vehicles in this category, this vehicle earns a 75. If you have additional questions that I did not cover on this Kicks, put it in the comments down below. I will get you an answer. And if you're looking for other opinions, check out our website, carcoachreports.com. It's in English as well as in Spanish. And our contributors have also driven this vehicle, and they have their opinions. We're also putting out more information on a regular basis on our social media. Mine is @LaurenFix. And check out our podcast on all platforms. It's called Total Car Score. We're also putting out more information on our social media. You can find me on all platforms @LaurenFix. If you got value from this video, make sure to give it a like and share it with your friends. Don't forget your comments because we do appreciate those. And if you want to hear more, check out our podcast, Total Car Score, on all platforms. Thank you so much, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.